All four of us have done and executed, and I think you'll get a lot of benefit from hearing from each of us and our own perspectives. But I've got some real tactical stuff for you. I'm kind of a flowchart guy, so I like to map out processes and details. So I'll share with you kind of what the showing partner and agent dynamic looks like. I'll share with you why I think this model is a really good one and who it could apply to and who it may not be the best fit for. And then we'll kind of open it up for questions at the end as well. Really cool benefit too. You guys have two of our partners, so Destiny is on here right now. Destiny was my partner for 2.5 years and did a fantastic job. She's now an agent. She's graduated, which is awesome. She's kicking ass, but she will definitely chime in, I'm sure, with some thoughts as well. And then Anna is my current partner. Anna's on as well. She's been my partner for 1.5 years. She will talk about this dynamic from a partner's perspective. I gave her about 3 minutes notice, so she's really excited to talk today. We also have Jen on here too. Jen was Rachel's partner for 3 years and like a very, very successful partner agent dynamic, more on the list side than the showing side. So lots of awesome kind of perspectives today that we're going to tap into, not just mine. But to back up, this is the BUILD Mastermind. This group was started by Jim, Ed, myself, and Rachel. Started as a collaboration just for our 3 teams to grow and to learn from one another and to kind of tap into one another's leadership and skills. And now it then bloomed into like our downline at Real and everyone else. And now it's in the Real Academy as well. So a lot of people hop on live and even more watch the replays. So if you are at Real, you have the ability to go into the workplace and go catch replays. We also post the replays on the Agent Growth Hub Facebook page, like in that group, and also on our YouTube channel. So you go back and watch those. These are like really good deep dive topics, where we take one thing and we go super deep on it. So like if you're wondering how to hire an assistant, if you're wondering, what to do with Zillow as a lead source, if you're wondering how to hire a showing partner, what that model looks like, go back to the YouTube channel and all the videos are on there and you've got a whole library of training you can go through, and we keep adding to it each and every week. So this is every Thursday at 10 a.m. Let's jump into it though. So why the showing partner model? Like that's the question I want to ask. I want to offer a couple of answers to that question. If you want to work less, I think you should consider the showing partner model. If you want to sell more, I think you should consider the showing partner model. If you want to focus on spending your time on the highest dollar producing activities, I think you should hire a showing partner as well. There's 3 scenarios where I think this makes a lot of sense. There's probably a few others, but these are the 3 I really want to focus on today. First of all, you may be a team leader, and a lot of team leaders are forced into a position where they either have to step out of production to continue to grow their team, because growing a team is extremely time consuming. It's a very full-time job in its own, which means they just back out of production. Or you could hire a showing partner and you could stay in production and just do less parts of the transaction. That's a very good application of the showing partner model. It's the one the 4 of us have all used and benefited from. The downside to stepping out of production, like I talked to a lot of team leaders, I know Ed and Jim do too, and so is Rachel. A lot of team leaders, their goal is to get out of production, but I think that is a mistake until you really build a massive organization, because most of us that are team leaders, we're also oftentimes the top rainmaker on the team. Like we have good sales skills, we're big producers. And if you pull your big producers out of production, your income is going to take a massive, massive hit. You probably can't afford to not be in production. So, but you also can't afford to not grow your team if you're going to try and scale things. So this kind of allows you to stay in production, but also buy back a lot of your time to do things that are going to allow you to grow your team. So that's the first step, team leader. The second one, maybe you're an agent on a team, and we can have Jen talk about this one since Jen's on. But in this case, you've got a transaction coordinator at the team level already. So that part is kind of addressed. You maybe have a listing coordinator like you do on our team. So that part is addressed. You've got like the administrative support kind of already taken care of. And now adding this partner could make sense to scale your really where I see it is like when those agents start hitting about 30 deals a year, we're trending 2.5 to 3 deals per month, like 3 or 4 consecutive months of that. That's the time to start considering hiring that partner. Okay. So the second scenario is the agent on team. The third scenario is a solo agent. Like you've got, just you and you've got a support person. So hire a showing partner, please hire an administrative assistant first. It's really important to follow that order. Eric Hatch, one of our mentors, has talked extensively about this hiring sequence. I 100% agree with him on this. The showing partner would come second or even third after you've got administrative support. And there's a ton of reasons I'm not going to go into today on that. Just trust us. Get your administrative support dialed. That provides you massive leverage to set more appointments, go on more consultations, work with more people, build your revenue up, then add the program. Okay. If you don't do that, you're going to end up being the administrator yourself. So those are the three scenarios. Ed, Jim, is there any others where you think like, hey, this model is just kick-ass that really applies to?
I think you hit them.
Yeah, I think you got them. I mean, I think the biggest thing is when you're running that team is to also just keep the highest profitability. I mean, you kind of keyed on that, but that's probably one of the biggest things because most teams are not profitable.
Right. Yeah. And that's something most people don't know. Like a lot of people think like, hey, shit, you're a team leader. You're just counting, $100 bills, or do they have $1,000 bills? I don't know, on the beach somewhere, while you're making money off the backs of other people. Well, shit, I don't know how your guys' team is going, but mine's not going that way. Like most of my income comes from my personal production, and a very small sliver of it comes from the team. So teams generally are not very profitable. They become profitable once they scale. And you can run like smaller, high profit teams if you're really good and you run a really tight business. But typically when you exceed about 400 transactions a year is when the economics of scale start to take over, where like these salaries start to pencil out. The amount of systems you got to have makes financial sense, things like that. So when you start getting about 400 deals or more, you maybe start pulling back that production a little bit. But it takes a long time to get to 400 deals, guys. It just does. So I think it can be really misleading, and it can be bad guidance to have a good production too soon. I made that mistake, guys. I was out of production 2019 completely and just focused on our team, and our team's production took a huge nosedive and became instantly unprofitable. So not the place you want to go. You can learn from my mistake. I want to also address a limiting belief because I hear this from a lot of agents, especially luxury agents. And the limiting belief is I'm not going to hire a showing partner because the client wants me to show them the house. Ooh, man, that's ego talk. Like I'm going to tell you right now, the client does not care if you're the one that shows them the house. They care that you are the person that is going to navigate and guide them through the process when it's time to hit the go button. Who shows them the house? They could care less. How many clients do you have that go to open houses? It's because they don't need you to look at the house. It's just not that important. And a partner that is a well-trained partner is going to actually be a better tour guide and shower of homes than you are going to be. I'm a 99D. Guess how much time I want to give you when you go look at a house? I'm going to give you like 2 minutes. Like there's the back door, there's the front yard. Are we buying the house or not? You get entered. They're debriefing everything about the house. Like, well, how do we feel about this room? How do we feel about that room? What about the cabinets, right? I'm not that person. So I'm actually doing you a disservice by showing you the home. And are there exceptions to this? Totally. Like I drove over 2 hours out of my market last year and showed a $2 million house to one of my VIP clients. He bought the house on the spot. So there are exceptions to this rule, but the general rule of thumb, your clients don't care who shows them the home. If you train a partner well, they will do a better job than you will. And more importantly than that, they're going to have more availability than you. I don't know if about your guys' calendar, but I have to have a schedule to go show a home like a week in advance to make that work. It's just super tough with everything I got going on to physically go out of the office and show a home. Anna was on vacation, which was much needed and much earned about a week and a half ago, right? And I went and showed a few homes, dusted off the old E-key, right? And I was like, oh my God, this is so time consuming. It was, of course, a shitty traffic day, and it took me 2.5 hours to get home from the last showing. Felt like the least productive use of my day I've ever had. I texted her and I said, God damn, I'm thankful for you. So get past that limiting belief, guys. You are simply not that important. The other limiting belief is you can't afford it. I'm going to tell you right now, when you get to 30 deals, I'm going to keep saying the 30 deal thing because I firmly believe in that number. When you get to 30 deals, you will hit a ceiling and you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to have no life? That's one option. That'll help you go past 30 deals. I've been there, work 100 hours a week. You can scale it and go sell 50, 60, 70, 80 homes a year. Or you could add a partner and you could pull back that time to 40 or 50 hours. Or you'll just simply burn the fuck out. It's one of those three things, right? That's just the way it goes. So you can afford it once you hit 30 deals. And once you're trending that 2.5 or 3 deals per month, start thinking that direction. Don't wait for a full calendar year where you say, okay, Mike, I got the 30 deals, I'm ready to go. No, how are we trending, right? So let's be out in front of this because I'm going to tell you, Rachel's going to talk about hiring partners in a little bit. It's time consuming to hire a partner. It takes months to find the right person. and then to get them onboarded and actually providing leverage to your business. They don't just show up on day one, you throw them the CRM and they get to, to being productive. That's just not the way it works. So it's a long lead time to get somebody that's actually going to come into your business and be the right fit. It's not going to be a rushed hire, it's going to be very intentional, and that's going to actually be well-trained and add massive value to you and your clients, okay? So those are the limiting beliefs. What do partners do? Well, there's three big things. I love the way Eric Hatch breaks this down. The first one is leverage for the agent. So this is things like setting up and attending inspections, doing walkthroughs, virtual showings. Like we go shoot video for out-of-town clients and we send them a Vimeo link to watch. So they're not just looking at a marketing video. They see the good, the bad, and the ugly of the house. They're going to take charge of conversations. Once the client is signed, they're going to send them listings, and they're going to communicate with them multiple times per week. Okay, so that's the really big one, is the leverage for the agent. This takes up a massive amount of their time. This is probably 30 to 35 hours a week. So I know for my partner as well, and for other partners I know, they also run the past client part of the business, meaning home anniversaries, client birthdays, referral gifts, closing gifts. This person is taking care of all of that part of your business as well, which when you have a lot of past clients is a super time consuming thing. That's the first thing, leverage for the agent. The second thing is database management. And we're not looking for an ISA. I want to be very clear about that. You cannot hire a great partner that's going to also be a great ISA. They're two very different personalities, but this person can help you keep your CRM caught up. They can provide speed to response on texts and emails, make sure that you're delivering fantastic service to your clients and to your leads. But they're not going to be like heavy, hunting type, ISA type activities where they're making hundreds of dials. It's just not the way they're wired. It's not the best use of their time. For us, it's just better if they focus on the fulfillment part of the transaction once the client's already gone through the appointment phase, but they can give you database leverage for sure. I know Anna goes in and sweeps my inbox every afternoon. I haven't gotten to it by about 2 o'clock. She's in there making sure everyone's been responded to and zeroing that thing out every single day. So little things like that bring huge leverage back for the agent. Okay. The third thing, and this one is often missed, is training. A lot of people at hire partners, they just think that, hey, the person's through onboarding, that's it, we're good to go. And that is not going to lead to a successful partnership with a partner. This is an ongoing training position. It's almost like an internship. Like we typically ask partners to commit for at least 2 years to this role because learning and mastering real estate takes a very, very long time. As an agent, you have the potential to make doctor level money and you have the ability to do that relatively quickly, but you got to kind of slow down to speed up. Jen's a great example of this. Jen was Rachel's partner, like I said, for 3 years. And Jen's first full year in production as a producing agent, once she went out on her own as an agent of the team, she sold 27, 28 deals. It was awesome. 26. Yeah, it was like that. Go show me another agent who in year one is selling that many deals. And the reason she did is because her training was continuous. It didn't just stop once she got on board. There's continual training happening, lots of coaching and conversations, tweaking of language patterns, understanding how to use technology, how to talk to people, how to read people, like all these things. The training I cannot emphasize enough, and it's your responsibility as an agent to make sure your partner is exceptionally well trained. If you want to provide an amazing experience for your clients, your partners have to be trained at a super high level and be able to execute as just an extension of you. Like it's a beautiful thing when a client hears the same thing from your partner that they hear it from you. Like when we're getting ready to offer on a house, when I talk to the client on the phone and Anna shows them the house, they've already heard from Anna exactly how we're going to come up with the price we're going to offer on the house. I told them the exact same thing, right? That's a beautiful synergy to have, but it takes a long time to train people to get to that level. Okay? So training is really, really important. That leads us to the agent. What does the agent do? Well, you still got to work. Hate to break that to you. You can't just go check out and go play golf. Not play golf, but you can't play ed. They mentor and train the partner. Like I just said, that's the first thing. They set appointments. If you are the agent, it's your responsibility to make sure the pipeline is full. Some of us have ISAs. If you don't have the ISA, you are the ISA and you are the hunter. So you got to make sure that you are on top of that. That should take up a huge amount of your day. If you're not a team leader, that should take up like 2-3 hours of your day every single day, is just continually building up bigger pipeline and adding to it. You're going to do the consultations. You can train your partner to do consultations while you're out of town. That's something that takes a while to gain competency to. But you start with you doing all the consultations. In office is how we like to do them. Bring people to our office. They sit down with me, typically for 30 or 40 minutes. It's really helpful if your partner's there for those consultations, just so they can meet them right there and start building a relationship right out of the gates with them and get familiarity with them. But you're going to do the consultations. You're going to sign them as well. So you're going to sign all the agency agreements. at the end of the consultation. And then you're going to coach and negotiate when they're ready to offer on the home as well. Like that's a really big part of the job, is step back in once that client's ready to offer. Okay. I'm going to share with you guys my screen here in just a minute. I'm going to share with you what our buyer sign action plan looks like. There's about 18 tasks that Anna and I go through once we sign these people to have a very smooth handoff from me to her and make sure nothing gets dropped during the transition. The client feels very well taken care of. But as an agent, I really believe you need to jump back in and negotiate the deal. Like that's the doctor part of this relationship. Like, you know, the doctor nurse analogy gets used all the time. Well, when it's time to get the offer accepted, it's time for you to step up, get on the phone, do what you do best, and close the freaking deal. Sometimes you got to close the client. Sometimes you got to close the agent. Sometimes you got to close both of them and talk them both off the ledge and find the middle ground. But that's your job. Like you got to jump in and do that. Do not hand that part off. If you do, hand it off like in years 2 and 3 of the partner relationship, once your partner has massive competency. And even then, I still don't like him. I want to share with you some stats from 2021. Like we track a lot of data on our team, and we tracked that the average closed buyer for my pipeline in 2021, 80 buyer deals, they looked at 11.7 homes per closing. That's a lot of time, guys. Like you're talking like 8 to 15 hours of touring homes, depending on how fast these people look at houses. Like most people average about 25 to 30 minutes per showing, plus you got drive time, right? So if you can just get that part covered alone, plus all the other things I talked about, you're going to buy back an absolute ton of your time to set more appointments, love on your sphere, and build your business bigger. I averaged during 2021 more like 3 hours per buyer, and that 3 hours was spent with setting the appointment, doing the consultation, signing the person, and then negotiating the deal. So this is very scalable if you do this right. Okay. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm just going to show you guys kind of a flow of what this process looks like in case you're a very visual learner like I am. Like I like to see like what's the flow of this process. Ed, can you see my screen okay, buddy?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, so you'll see on the left, like we start up here, the process starts as it's just simply a lead, right? And that's really the agent that's owning that responsibility to convert that lead into a consultation. That brings us to the second block down. That appointment has now been set. The third block down is what we call the buyer sign process. That process is this checklist up here. I'm going to just read through it with you guys. There's a note that gets put in the CRM notifying all of us on the micro team that we've got a new buyer signed. There's a couple of tags that get applied to this lead to organize them and put them on the right list. There's a buyer signed email that we send out. That buyer signed email, I put a copy of it right here for you. It just basically maps out what these next steps are very seamlessly for this person. It puts my follow-up boss number in there, Anna's follow-up boss number in there. It's got links to our app to download it so they can get their search set up. It just puts a nice kind of bow and wrap up on what are we doing next after this consultation. We, of course, talk about it in the consultation, but we reiterate it with the email, okay? We send them the email to download the mobile app to make sure they get set up. We adjust their search in Real Scout. Real Scout is a platform that we've moved to on our team for listing alerts and home value alerts. It's a really powerful system. And they have a fantastic app that our clients just love. And so we've really migrated our clients over to that. We add the spouse on there, and then we BCC ourselves as well. I love the app because it notifies people through an app notification versus an email that they've got a new listing that's relevant to what they're looking for. So people don't get drowned out by emails. They just see the app alert, and they open the app and check it out. They do get an email as well, but we really have seen a big open rate on the app notifications. And most people really want to use them too. So think about that. We're going to verify with the client they've got their Real Scout app downloaded just to make sure they've got easy access to that and we have no issues there. We change their stage to an active client from a lead. We add a couple more tags just with background icons. Background icons are basically just a summarization of this person. What are they looking for? What's their time frame? What are their locations? What's their financing type? And it goes in the summary part of the profile and follow-up boss. So we can quickly see, just at a quick glance, what are the most important things of this person? And that's the process we use for it. We fill out a buyer sign form in Sisu, which is our data analytics tracking. So we can always be tracking our data and see how many appointments we've set, met, signed, pended, closed. That's part of the process. We create a Google Drive file for them as well, where we start adding documents to their file, and we add the agency disclosures in there. We also upload their agency disclosures to their Follow Up Boss profile. One of my favorite features of Follow Up Boss is you can add documents to the profile, which is super, super powerful. We changed the deal stage as well to buyer signed. We changed appointment outcome to buyer signed agency agreement. And then we send the group text introducing the partner. This group text is maybe the most important part to have that really seamless transition from agent to partner. And then the last step is to bring the home tour bag. We have this really cool branded home tour bag that we bring out on the first home tour that actually Destiny created, and that we still use, and it's awesome. So this is the handoff text. First name, it was awesome to meet with you, and we're really looking forward to helping you find a great home. I've gone ahead and emailed you a link to download our custom client-only app and have the search set up for you there. Can you let us know once you have it downloaded? I've also added Anna, my showing partner, on here, so you have access to one of us 7 days a week. Again, I'm always framing that me having them a partner, or me having a partner, is a benefit to them, right? Super, super important. 7-day-a-week access. So that's like the specifics of what we do once we sign these people. They then move into the showing home phase, which that phase can be a really long holding bucket for people. Some people sit in there for 2 or 3 months before they actually buy a house. And during that time, the partner is responsible for driving the communication. They're going to call that person every single Tuesday, and they're going to text them every single Friday. The Friday is a great touch point at the end of the week when all the listings have come on to try to schedule home tours for the weekend. I know this sounds really crazy, guys, but if you don't get people out looking at houses, they're not going to offer on homes. So you got to get them out. And if you send them out, if you send them an updated list of homes on Friday, you're going to set more home tour appointments for the weekend for the partner. Okay. So the partner drives those communications. We love that phone call. Like, it's really hard to connect with a person at the same level off text or email it is off a voice-to-voice conversation. So this usually makes new partners very nervous to call people, but it's a really important customer service dynamic, is to pick up that freaking phone, connect with Ed. Ed, how you doing, man? Just want to check in on you, see how the family's doing. I know we've been looking at homes now for a couple of months. I just want to make sure that we're still good here. You still have the same criteria. We're still thinking the same price range. Oh, and by the way, here's a quick market update for you. Like, we're making just that quick touch, checking in on them, bringing them a little value, and letting them know we'll touch base back with them later on in the week. Okay. The next step, like I talked about earlier, offering, and that's where the agent steps back in. Then once the contract is accepted, the transaction coordinator takes over. And then at that point, the inspection occurs. The partner typically does that. Then the final walkthrough occurs. The partner does that as well. The keys, the partner does that. Some agents like to do that just as kind of put like a bookend to it, which is totally cool if you want to do that. I don't do that because it's super time consuming. I just send them video, or I call them voice to voice and congratulate them as Anna heads out there with the keys. And that's that call, which is kind of the next step there. So that's like the tactical, like, kind of meat and potatoes of what this process looks like. I wanted to ask Anna to share the partner perspective on this relationship and this dynamic, because I think it's really unique to have a partner on this call, because a lot of us are just agents or people watching the replay. We're thinking about hiring a showing partner. But Anna, maybe you could speak about this. Maybe Destiny, we could get some thoughts from you as well. What does a successful partnership with an agent look like? What does this relationship need to be?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So I'm going to start with like the agent perspective. As an agent, I think it's really important that you trust the person that you're hiring. And of course, that's earned within time. But I think that's like the major thing, is for the agent to trust you, and then for the partner to trust the agent. Also, like permission to fail. I think that was a huge one with Mike and I. In the beginning, I was always really scared to let Mike down. And when I started to grow the most was when Mike and I sat down and had a conversation, and Mike was like, hey, if you lose us 20K or like a client, that's totally fine. As long as you like earn and kick ass and grow from it, I'm not gonna like fire you. So I think that was a big like moving step forward, was when Mike and I had that conversation. He's like, hey, it's okay for you to fail as long as you grow from it. As an agent perspective, as a partner perspective, I think it's really important to have a good mindset, because it's like you're committing to a lot of time, you're committing to a big role, and you're doing what an average agent does in 5 years in 1 year. So it's a big time commitment. It seems like you're doing a lot of work, but in the end of it, it's totally worth it.
I love those thoughts, Anna. Thank you so much. When you say trust, can you explain how you build that? That's not like, it sounds awesome, but how did we get there?
Yeah, trust. A big thing in trust is doing what you say you're going to be doing. So if I say I'm going to call all of my clients once a week, well, you better bet that I'm calling all of my clients once a week, or Mike will not trust me. And then
conversations about that for sure.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Right? Like when we both know that we're going to fully own our part of the transaction, that's where trust really gets elevated to me, and you've done a fantastic job with owning that.
Thanks.
Destiny, what do you want to add?
It was really good, Anna. I think from a perspective of graduating from the partner position, it was an absolutely invaluable experience. And I think my best advice for someone looking to hire a partner is to make sure that that person is really hungry to learn and they see the value in how much learning they're going to do in that period. And they don't want to fast track it. Like someone that's really willing to live in that learning environment. And I love learning, but I did get like a little antsy towards the end. And I feel like in hindsight, like it's just such a valuable experience that you get. The cadence at which experience you get in that time period, like Anna said, is just something you'll never experience on your own. So that's my only.
It gets overwhelming at some points though, right? Like, I mean, there's been weeks where you both have worked 80, 90 hours, shown, I think at some point, Destiny, you showed 50 houses in a week,
Yeah.
You beat the crap out of you too,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now I see the value in having a partner, and it's something that's definitely on my list of something I want to do because I don't want to spend all my time showing houses. I want to put in the work and earn it, of course, but I do see the value in having a partner, and that salary you're paying and the commission you're sharing is so worth it.
Love it. Thanks, Destiny. Jim, I don't know if you're on or not. I can't see your face, so I'm not sure if you are or not, but if you are, do you want to chime in on your perspective?
Sure, I'm here. I'm about to step out to go do a virtual tour. But yes, so having been a partner and then also having had a partner, I think it's kind of a neat perspective. As a partner, I couldn't agree more with Anna about having that complete explicit and implicit trust between agent and partner. I think that it's, you mentioned it a minute, earlier, Mike, how your clients eventually hear the exact same words out of your mouth as well as your partner's mouth. So you just kind of reinforce each other throughout that client's journey. I can't tell you how many times I could have words coming out of my mouth that I hear in my head Rachael saying first, just because we had that synergy for a long time in the last half of our partnership. I think that's incredibly important. I think the goal would always be, of course, growth of business and development, but I think the benefit to the partner is so massive. I feel incredibly confident in what I do because I had that experience growing within that partnership in the firsthand. And then having been an agent with a partner, I think Emerald's on this call as well. She's my partner for a bit. Now she's stepped into a new agent role herself. I think that it's very helpful to know that you're going to have that extra set of eyes, that extra hand, that extra person watching your clients, and knowing that you're going to be able to provide that extra level of service. It's 100% worth what you invest in that person, not only financially, but also knowing that you're helping them accumulate a skill set at that rapid pace Anna mentioned. It's incredibly rewarding, I think, in that way. But at the end of the day, it also grows business, which is what we're after in the first place. So,
yeah, really, really good thoughts. Ed and Jim, what do you guys want to add? I mean, Ed, do you have a partner still or not?
Yeah, I've had a partner now. He's almost probably going to be 6 years here in like 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So he's, I think Eric definitely does a good job of talking about the stages of a partner too. Like, you've got people that are the lifers, they say. You got people that want to graduate out like Destiny did. Then you've got the empire builders, and empire builders, I think from a team leader standpoint, that's what I've created as the empire builder, because I'm focused on our companies and what we're doing there. It took us a couple years to get to that point, but here we're going on 4 more years now where he has ran the micro team. And some of the stuff that Mike's talking about early on, I had to do some of that stuff with him. But now I don't show up on appointments. I don't show up on all the stuff that I would have back when year 1, year 2 was happening. So I think there's ways to graduate up. And then we've got 2 other micro teams that have partners in our company as well. And so we just continue to grow that way. I think that's gives our agents opportunity, like destiny, right? One day you'll have a showing partner. It's giving you an opportunity to build something pretty cool under something that's pretty cool, right? And I think that's the benefit for sure.
6 years is pretty awesome. Do you want to explain? So you said the Empire Builder is doing basically everything you would do as well. So they're acting as the agent and the partner. Do they have a
Pretty much.
house, or are they also showing houses?
Say that again, Mike.
Are they the showing partner as well? Like they're showing the houses in addition to the consultations?
Yeah, they're showing the houses. He also has a showing partner under him now, the Empire Builder. So he'll put some of that out and leverage some of that out. He'll actually go show quite a bit as well. So, but he pretty much runs the transaction all the way through with the team. I step in if he needs me, but it's pretty rare he needs me, quite honestly. He'll sell, he typically does 110, 120 units a year. So it's crazy.
What would you say keeps him there? Like why is he so happy being your Empire Builder when he could just be an agent on your team? Like, he's doing the whole part of the job. So what keeps him in that place happy?
So I think what keeps him there is the stability, knowing that even when business is down, business is not going to be down. He doesn't go through that up and down that sometimes an agent goes through, because he's not only running the business, but he's getting all my business. All my sphere business. Yeah. So and I've got a pretty big sphere, which helps. So if you don't have a very big sphere, I think it'd be harder to keep him in that role. But I think it's important for him to bring his sphere and his people to the table, which he does a really good job of. Out of those 120 deals, he's probably going to close 15, 20 deals a year. That's the people he brought. But I'm going to bring 80 to the table or so. So, and not only when you got the right person like that, not only do we get along and we trust each other and all the stuff we've already talked about, but now it makes me want to go do more stuff with him. So, maybe we buy some houses together, maybe we do some deals together and try to build some wealth together other ways outside of just, hey, show up every day and do your job, right?
Right. That's awesome, Ed. What about you, Jim?
So mine's probably somewhere in the middle of those two. So Kim's been with me, I think it's 3 years now. And she's taken over pretty much everything on the buy side. She's doing some listings on her own as well. I'm assisting here and there, but our goal is to do essentially what Ed's doing. We do have Keith, who's more of a hybrid agent, where he's going and selling some houses, but he's also working about 20 hours showing properties for us as well. That's worked out actually really well, gives him a little income. And what you said, Ed, was huge. That question about why does she stay is, yeah, she knows what she's going to make every year, because we kind of pick how many houses we're going to sell as a mini team, and just adjust it and give so many to the rest of the team from my sphere. And if we were down, we might grab some leads, but it's typically like an ebb and flow with that. So there's a stability that you don't really get anywhere else.
I love the fact that showing partner opens doors for people that would love to be in real estate, but they can't be in real estate, right? That is the game changer. So we're bringing teachers and nurses and people like that in that have the detail oriented, but will do the play because you've told them this is the play to win. That is the game changer with showing partner, where you get an agent that just wants to go 100 miles an hour. They don't want to listen. They don't want to learn. They just want to go. And it really opened doors for people that never had a chance to get in this business to come in and be successful in this business.
Was the salary component a piece of that, Ed?
Oh, by far. To have a stable salary to walk in. I mean, Bryce is a perfect example. He was a Catholic school PE teacher making 25 grand a year. We could match that or even do a little better, bring him in, and then give him the opportunity to learn from a high producing agent and allow him to start building the systems. And 6 months in, he's like, man, this is exactly what I thought real estate was going to be. but he was at 2 other brokerages as a solo agent, and it just was a big disaster. He's like, I always thought this is what it would be, but it never was that. And now it's exactly what I was hoping. So that's kind of fun.
Rachel, anything you want to add to close this out? Yeah, 3 minutes.
Can you hear me okay? On the same speaker?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a very interesting conversation with an agent who has been a top producer in our market for, probably 15, 16 years. She and I had coffee a little while ago anyways, because she was saying, like, I'm so tired of, showing houses, and I'm so tired of doing these things. And, over the years, she's done really well for herself. She's averaged, 30, 40 deals a year. And so her first inclination was, I want to bring other agents in, and I want to just mentor other agents and then just give them these leads and take, half the commission. And I was like, okay, like, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're, like, growing a team sounds super sexy or whatever. Bringing people in to mentor sounds super great. But, like, do you understand how valuable the information is that you're giving to that person, right? Like, you're not only giving them your time and your knowledge, but now you're just handing them 50% of a commission that they don't know how to acquire yet. And so I think the misconception of a partner is like, oh, it's a subordinate position, and it's really not. It is an incredibly valuable position, an incredibly valuable opportunity to get paid and learn how to do a sales position that is really, really difficult, like really, really difficult. And anybody in this industry knows how tough it is. So to be able to provide that kind of level of stability for somebody, to get, like, to your point, Ed, to bring them, bridge them, bridge that gap in the industry is really special. So, for her, it was like kind of a no-brainer. Like, hey, have you thought of the partner model? Have you thought about bringing somebody in and giving them a low base salary? That's your commitment to them, while also training them and then keeping 95% of your commission on your side. And I think really the goal is to really find the right people. Like, a lot of us crazy people as agents, like, we can handle the ups and the downs and the ebbs and the flows and the pressure of living commission check to commission check or only on commission, right? We've been used to that. We've built our lives around that, but not everybody is that way, right? 95% of people, that's really scary. That's too much stress to do so. And so I think finding the right people who have the personality, who want to support, Destiny and Anna and even Emerald, and Jim, we're such great partners. You're such great partners because you thrive in supporting somebody. Like, that gives you such fulfillment and such purpose. And so that makes it such a good match, right? So I think really it's about the people you're bringing in, in regards to having conversations, hiring those people. You want to find somebody who, their dream isn't to run their own team someday. That's not going to make a great partner. If their dream is, hey, I want to live a great life and I want to have some quality of life and I want to make decent money and be consistent in my career and grow, that's a great.
The average agent, according to NAR, makes about $45,000 a year, which is kind of crazy. Right. And so if your partner is salary, like, we recommend a $40,000 salary, good, you got to figure that out. For us, 40,000 is about the number that makes sense, because you got to make sure you're producing. If you're not, you go to the hole very, very quickly having a salary like that. But 40K is kind of the number that makes sense for us. And then when you give them some of the commission on the deals that they showed the home on, they can easily double that. It's like a partner could make $90,000 or $100,000 easily. I've seen partners make up as much as $130,000 to $140,000 when they're really high volume. They're really cranking, and they're setting some appointments as well. So there's an opportunity for the partner to do exponentially better than they would as an agent, or than most agents would. So it's a win-win there when you see it that way.
I think we missed something, Mike, just real quick, and Rachel brought it up and it resonated with me. But one of the things that agent was talking about was getting out and just doing this, helping other agents. The problem is you give up your entire sphere when you do that, and your business all goes away. And we've all learned that lesson, I think, about if we go and just hand our sphere out to agents versus keeping them, that's a huge amount of money and a huge relationship just to hand off, right? And a lot of people make that mistake. So,
well, the other thing I told her, Ed, on that note was, you're bringing somebody brand new in who does not have the language patterns down. They do not have the skills that you do. Like to bring somebody brand new in and then hand them a lead and expect them to convert that lead like you do, or convert and take care of that person like you do, is a very naive thing. So you go from like 95% conversion of your sphere, right, or more, of course, to maybe that person doesn't feel very well cared for anymore, and they don't convert it, or they don't convert that lead that they were given, and now you completely missed an opportunity, not just for the 50%, the whole thing. So it's a way for agents, whether you're on a team and you're wanting to grow that, or a team leader, like in our case, to really stay profitable in your business, but also bring somebody in who they can learn from you. And to Anna's point, she put comments here, the training that the partners receive, the training that the showing partner receives, the experience they get, like what Cindy said, you get 5 years worth of sales experience and real estate experience in your first year as a partner. That's invaluable. You pay a lot of money for the training that's provided and getting
best program out there.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up there. Hopefully this was helpful. If you got questions about this, you can reach out to the 4 of us. Happy to help you guys think about how to implement this. We will see you next Thursday at 10 a.m. Bye.